Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm working on that CJ5 snowblower Jeep right now. The Sierra Blue CJ5 is sitting just waiting to be picked up, and I'm waiting on some more parts for that Dana 30 front axle rebuild, so I've got just a little bit of time to spend on this. And I've been working on the hardtop, and you know, I've got these side panels and they need to be bolted in a bunch of places. So I have everything marked on the body, on the wheelhouse here, across the floor. There needs to be bolts in all these locations. So I'm going to show you a few different options for getting some threads in the body. Originally they just drilled some holes and they nut and bolted everything. That's kind of a pain on the floor. You need two people to do it. It's hard to get under there. I'm going to show you how to set some permanent threads a couple different ways, and I'll show you the method that I chose to use, and maybe it'll help somebody out there get you out of a jam or something. But let's head over to the bench. I'll show you a few more of the hardtop pieces I have made and show you some options for threads. Okay, I'm just going to quick run over a few pieces I made for the hardtop. This is the original piece, and this gets bolted to your two bolts that hold your windshield hinge in. It comes up, they have a little tab welded in the corner to keep water out, and then they bent up this piece and they welded that in to go up under the hardtop, but they left the top wide open, and that sits along the windshield frame, so that just takes water straight down in there. And it should come out the bottom, but what it does is it gets hung up on your bolts and it makes everything rust out. I made one. It's got the same two holes for the windshield. I picked up that other hole that's in the top of the windshield. I have a little bit different piece here. It's all made out of one piece, and I welded the top completely so that when water hits that, it can't run down on the inside. So I made these a little bit heavier out of 16 gauge, and they'll get primed and everything, painted nice before they go in. This is the door jamb, basically. Your hinge goes on here. This goes up. This all gets bolted together like that, and that keeps you waterproof on the inside. I made new ones to fit, just because I'm kind of custom fitting the doors so they fit a little nicer than original. And I picked up some stainless steel piano hinges. That's what was on there, and you can't open or close these. So I picked up some stainless steel ones, and these should last a long time, and half of that will go on there, and the other half will get bolted to the door. So I'm making progress making all these pieces, but now it's time to fill in all those holes on the body, and I'm going to give you a few options for how to do that, and then, like I say, finally show you what I'm going to do. So let me reset the camera and I'll show you a few different options for threads. Okay, we can go over some threads now. You've probably seen me use these before. 1/4-inch bolts, 20 bolts are going to lock that whole top down. So these are weld-in type units. They got some ears on them. You weld them underneath the body. You got your hole, and that centers a little lip around there that centers in your hole, and you can easily thread a bolt in there. That's good if you have bare steel, or if you're just building something for maybe some seat frames or something. You need some locations to bolt them down, something like that. You're on a bare steel body, weld that up there, and that works real well. This is the same type of weld-on fastener. It's threaded. I think you can see that. and then you drill your pilot hole. Got a lip on it, you stick that through, and then your 1/4 bolt will go through there. And that's okay. Again, if you've got bare steel and you can weld that in, that's fine. Another option is a insert, and that's a 1/4 insert. And this is the type of tool that would set those inserts. And there's a lot of different mandrels. You could do all different size inserts. So you would thread it on there, and then when you squeeze the trigger, this portion here gets kind of sucked up into the barrel. It expands and fills your hole perfectly. These are made of aluminum. You can get steel, and they work real good, but they're very, very sensitive to the size hole that you drill. And for this application, I'm not going to use these. I use them quite a bit, but for this application, I'm not going to go this route. I'm going to show you guys a different way of doing things. And you can pick these up at any industrial house or on eBay, anything like that, if you want to set threads like that. It's a pretty good way to go. The setup I'm going to use is a 2-part. This is just a regular serrated flanged nut. I hope you can see this. And then there's your part that the bolt goes in. So you start with a 3/8 hole and you fasten it together. And this is good if you have a painted surface because you don't have to weld anything in. Tighten those up real good. I usually use a little bit of Loctite in there. And then you have perfect threads for your 1/4 bolt. You can pick up, I mean, you can make these. The nut you could just buy, and then if you had a lot of time and you felt like spinning these up on the lathe and cutting internal and external threads, you can make those yourself. They're not real expensive to buy, so they work real good. I get these from Summit, but you could pick them up anywhere. I think Summit has the best prices on these. I think you get 10 for like $22 or something like that. They work real good. They're raised up just a little bit, but on that top there's going to be some heavy weather stripping there, so that won't even make a difference. And I'll just take you over to the Jeep and set one of these in, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, I'll just show you how easy it is to set these. I take a little bit of Loctite and I put it on the insert. And then for the 1/4, you got a 9/16 nut. Well, socket you need on your nut, and on the top it's 5/8. And then you just pull that tight. And there you have perfect 1/4 threads. Like I say, there's going to be a thick gasket right here running across there to seal the top. So that little 1/16 of an inch that's up is no big deal. And you can put that in any kind of surface, whether it's painted or finished or anything like that. You won't damage anything. Start with a 3/8 hole. Everything gets covered up, and easy to set some very solid threads in there. They're not flimsy like any of the other ones. There's a very solid connection, and that's how that gets set in there. Okay, everybody, I hope that helps you out if you ever need to put threads in a surface on your Jeep or anything, or on any kind of vehicle. A couple different options for you. What you're looking at here is a Weber carburetor. I took out my tow truck the other day, and the carburetor, the original carburetor, went to hell on me again, spewing gas all over the engine and stuff, dripping down everywhere. And the gas these days is just eating up the carburetor kits real bad. I restored that vehicle maybe 15 years ago, and I had one carburetor that held in a long time, and then that one went bad, and I put another one on, and that one only took about a year to go bad. So I'm trying a Weber. I like Webers. I put them on a lot of other things. This is a kit that Weber makes. There's the carburetor. There is your adapter plate for the F-head bolt pattern to the carburetor. And I'm not going to get into it today, but if anybody's interested in seeing how these go down, I'd be happy to film it when I'm putting it on. That's the air cleaner that comes with these things. I do not like the look of these on an old Jeep. I think they look terrible. So I'll show you a different option for an air cleaner when that time comes. But I know there's probably a bunch of guys out there fed up with their original carburetors, and if you are, this is one way to get a new high quality carburetor on your Jeep. And like I say, if you're interested in seeing that, I'd be happy to bring the camera along as I install it. Just shoot me a comment if you think you want to see that. That's all I got for you today, just a short one. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.